Hello and welcome to CSM Live. It is November and we're still going strong, aren't we? I'm Jess Barton.
And I'm Adam Duce.
And we've got a great show lined up today. We're going to be talking about a range of things, but to start off with, we're going to be going and having a little look at Movember.
Yes, so as you can probably see, my facial hair is slowly developing.
Yes,
I am one of the faces of the Students' Union for Movember. It's a great cause, isn't it?
It is,
for charity.
I didn't know the whole surrounding what it was all about and everything, but we've had a little look, haven't we?
We have. We've done a little research.
Yeah, it's actually to raise awareness for prostate cancer, testicular cancer, and mental health depression. So it's a great cause. What charity are you raising money for? Are you raising money or?
Well, as part of the Students' Union, as a collective, because it was very interesting to find out that the number of men that admit that they have mental health problems is much lower than women, isn't it? Because they don't feel able to come out.
The amount of men that go to the doctors and are diagnosed with it in comparison to women is 17%, and women it's 29%. So it's a massive difference. And they put it down to a bit of a pride thing. Men don't like going to the doctor and they don't like admitting that there's something wrong. So that needs to change. Awareness about things like that. And mental health illness, the most common in men is anxiety and depression. And I mean, you don't always associate anxiety with mental health issues. I think sometimes it's easy enough for people to just say, oh, I'm a bit anxious, I'm getting a bit nervy, but there's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah, they don't want to admit that they have a mental health problem because of the stigma attached to it. And we had a fantastic Mind Your Head week, which we did a couple of weeks ago to raise awareness for that. So I think it's fantastic that we're still raising awareness, growing moustaches and beards.
Yeah, and of course we can't look over the fact that testicular cancer and prostate cancer are massively affecting men all around Britain today. So it's a great cause. If you're getting involved, we want to know. So if you want to get involved, and tweet us pictures. That's what we'd like to see.
Tweet us pictures of
yours
your
is getting quite
developed.
long.
Yes.
It's really
long. And
long.
it's just 7 days so far.
I know. You've got another 3 weeks left.
Dear God.
He's going to look like Santa Claus by the end of it.
So tweet in your pictures to @Cardiff Union TV. We want to see you and your developing moustache and beard. Yeah. And we're having a little bit of a competition, aren't we, Jess?
We're going to start a competition of who can produce. I don't know if we should limit this to the longest, because maybe that's a bit. You can't really do anything about that. Maybe style we should do as well.
Style over substance.
Style over substance. You know about that one, honey.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, tweet us your pictures @Cardiff Union TV, #CSM Live, #Movember.
So, and we want your little Parisian moustaches. I might grow that.
I would love that. Maybe you should tweet us your suggestions to what Adam should start trying to look like. I'm just going to go with a full beard.
Yeah.
Because some people struggle to grow beards, don't they?
Well, I struggle to grow a moustache, so this is going to be interesting.
Because, well, I've seen a couple and spoken to a couple of people doing it, and they're starting to get patchy. That's a bit of a dilemma, isn't it?
Not very good.
You've got quite good genes, though, Adam.
Thank you. So yes, also what that happens in the first week of November is Bonfire Night.
You can't get away from it. It's called Bonfire Night, but oh my gosh, it has turned into Bonfire Month, because the amount of fireworks I have heard going off since are driving me insane.
Yes, I was getting slowly fed up at the fact that I hadn't seen any fireworks, because on Saturday it was horrible weather. I'm sure a lot of you were put off going outside because it was horrendous rain and wind. And then on the 5th, I had a lovely student senate meeting, so I couldn't go out and see them. Although when I went to my car, there were these students setting off fireworks in their front garden. Very dangerous.
Yeah,
and this woman just sort of leisurely leaning against my car with a bottle of wine. And I was like, sorry love, I'm gonna have to
move you along.
Oh,
I can't imagine that. Your face would have been an absolute picture. picture. I didn't go to any fireworks displays either because obviously they have it in Butte Park. I didn't attend. First of all, the weather was awful, as you said.
But pricing this year.
Yeah, it's so expensive. And you can just watch it just as well from your bedroom window. That's why I went.
In the warmth of your own home, or the cold of your student home, more likely, under your duvet covers.
Well, that's literally what I was doing. Yeah, I like fireworks night. Obviously, it goes back to a massive history of Guy Fawkes, so it's not just random. But again, it's become a little bit commercialised. We were looking at Halloween last week, and it seems to be more about the holiday and enjoyment rather than the history. But yeah, fireworks are pretty, aren't they?
They are very much so.
They're enjoyable.
They are.
And
Although
sparklers.
Yes, and I always used to be very scared of them when I was younger. I used to have my fingers in my ears because I hated the explosions.
Like a little puppy dog.
Yeah.
My mum was ringing me all night trying to keep the dog under control, and what they've taken to doing is holding up bed sheets against all the windows because little Monty goes a little bit nuts. Love him. Bless his heart. But yeah, we want to see if any of you guys headed out and saw any fireworks. Send us in your photos because I've seen amazing ones going on to Instagram, like really good. There's certain settings where you can capture them. So at Cardiff Union TV, hashtag CSM Live, and
tweet in your pics.
Yeah, hashtag your fireworks. We can't wait to have a little look see. Seeing as we're a little bit deprived.
We were.
Tell you what I was doing on fireworks night.
What were you doing?
This is a long-standing tradition. I cooked sausages and had hot dogs, proper hot dogs, butcher sausages, not any of that from the local supermarket. And I also did pancakes, which leads us on nicely to the bake-off.
Yes. At the end of October, the Baking Society, newly formed this year, invited Becca, who was a semi-finalist of this year's The Great British Bake Off, which is a very popular show. And she came along to Cardiff University Students' Union and was a guest judge for all the Baking Society members that baked a fantastic array of different chocolate cakes.
My favourite kind of cake. So we went along and we wanted to see what all the fuss was about. So have a look at this.
Come in. Well, look who's here. I haven't seen you in many a year.
Hello, I'm Rhiannon and I'm here with Becca from Great British Bake Off.
Hello.
Hey Becca. Becca has been in with the Baking Society today, testing out their chocolate cakes.
Eating about 100 cakes and very full.
How sick do you feel, Becca?
Oh, I'm glad though there was a water break halfway through and I could see the light at the end of the baking tunnel towards the halfway through down the second table. But no, it was brilliant. Really, can't complain. I've had a lot of free cake.
Are you impressed with the standard of baking?
Amazing to think that, having been a student at Cardiff Union, knowing what it's like baking in the kitchens, in halls and also in the houses that we used to rent, I'm impressed that the creations that, appeared this evening were that good. Really impressed, really good.
What is your favourite thing you've ever baked?
I'm going to be very boring, but for me, there's nothing better than a really good loaf of bread. I love sourdoughs, especially white sourdough, and there's nothing better than when it's toasted the following morning with proper butter on. I love pizzas. I'm always making pizzas at home as well because it's a favourite of my husband's. I suppose a lot of dough. Well, that's the thing, bless him. He has army food, which is rubbish, and so I love kind of baking, and he gets a lot of things tested on him. So
Unlucky for him.
I know, so unlucky.
Your personal highlight of Bake Off, if you had to pick one moment.
Oh, well, I came top of the technical for the pastry week. I made the gaggle of nuns, I call it, the religieux. And I think I ticked every box that Paul and Mary wanted for that one. I think that was really good because I felt like I was on the way to Star Baker at that point, so I felt on top of the world.
How did you stop yourself from drowning in Paul Hollywood's icy stare?
Oh, easily. I wasn't taken in by him. He's a really nice guy. Paul is lovely, but wasn't my type in the fact that a lot of girls and wives are going to me, oh my god, he's so good looking, la 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 la.
His eyes
His eyes are amazing, but he's my height, and you know, yeah, and I didn't really let it affect me. I'm quite chopsy as well, so often we'd have arguments and you wouldn't see half of it shown on TV.
What you do?
Yes, so we hope you enjoyed that video of the Great British Bake Off, semi-finalist at the Baking Society's little competition.
Yes, it was very enjoyable. And if you do want to get involved with the Baking Society, it is new this year, and I know they're dying to still get loads more people involved. So go on to the Students' Union website and have a look at the different societies. It's not too late to get involved. Just see your TV if you want.
Yes, pop up to the student media offices on the 3rd floor.
3rd floor of the union.
So yes, on to other news.
New show this week.
The news show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they had loads of stories on there this week, and we wanted to pick up on a couple of these because they're really important elements at this time of the year. In a couple of minutes, we'll be discussing a high-speed train, which is going to be coming in from London up to the north. But before that, housing. Now,
Housing.
This is a very, very big part of student life. One of the biggest, apart from deciding your course, is where you're going to live and who you're going to live with. And this is the time of the year where people start hunting for houses and, signing contracts.
But don't get in too much of a panic.
No.
Because loads of students think, oh, well, I haven't got my house by the end of November. That's it. I'm not going to be able to live in Cardiff. Because that simply isn't the case. There are plenty of houses, some that get released later in the year. So you're bound to, find a house and get along with someone in it.
Yeah. And the main advice is, the bigger the group, the quicker the houses go. There are obviously less bigger houses with more bedrooms. So if you are going in a group of 9 or 10 or even 7 or 8, then get to look as soon as you can. I mean, there's no major rush. Up until Christmas, there'll still be houses available, but they're the main ones. Anything between 4, 5, 6. There's loads of them, isn't there? Around Cateys, Roath, and up on the Heath. So here's some leaflets. This is for ARC, the Advice and Representation Centre. They can be found on the 3rd floor of the Students' Union, just across the hall from us.
Yeah.
And they are here to help with any housing issues you have, any questions, and generally just to make sure that you're making the right decisions in signing contracts and where you're going to be living for a year.
Yeah, they were a great help to me because I had trouble getting my bond deposit back for this last academic year. And the lady in ARC was very, very helpful and sort of set out the process by which to go down and to minimise your costs in doing so, because obviously court costs are very expensive. And we can obviously advertise Cardiff Student Letting, which is a student letting company within the Students' Union where you don't have to pay an agency fee.
No, they are the only one, unless you go with private housing, that don't charge a fee, which is a massive plus side, because I know that there's a couple of tenants that seem to lose money when they're leaving houses or pay a lot and don't get that much back. So that's definitely something to look into. So ARC, if you want to come along and have a look at these, they will provide you with advice and basically represent you, the student. They're an independent and confidential service. Anyone can go up. You can make appointments, but just pop up. You can get the leaflets. And they'll help you go through what you're going to be signing. Because that's an important thing, isn't it? A lot of contracts may have clauses which you don't really look into when you're going, which you need to be aware of. So they'll sit down and go through those with you. They'll also discuss, this is an important aspect, when you go around and view houses, what to look out for. Because mould and damp, they're the major things. And you might just think, it's not a big issue. But when you're living there, it definitely is. So, they're a great service to use and to give you help with.
They also give advice on any financial matters. So if you're struggling to fund your uni lifestyle or you want any sort of help creating a weekly budget, they're happy to help in that regard as well.
Yeah, it's the largest service. It covers a range of things. But at the moment, housing is massively on their list, isn't it? So, yeah, make sure you use them. How's your house? How did you go about finding it, and what problems have you had, if any?
Well, I was with. I decided after the fiasco that I had with the previous letting agent over the summer that I would go with Cardiff Student Letting, because A, there's no agency fee, and B, they clearly have Cardiff students at the heart of their service.
Yeah.
And they have been very prompt at everything. You know, there's a tiny bit of mould on the wall, which they came round the next day and completely resolved. And they have got a very thorough inventory. And this is something I would always advise when you're doing your inventory. Make sure you take photographs of everything, so that at the end of your inventory you can always show as proof to the letting agency that something was broken or not usable at the beginning.
Yeah, definitely. That's one of the ways that they can catch you out at the end. Not saying Cardiff Student Lettings do, but you just have to be aware and really take note at the beginning, because things like carpets, if they're damaged, or walls, or anything, appliances in the kitchen. So make sure you take your time with having a look around. My house is perfect. My house is lovely. I can't complain about anything. I'm with a private landlord, John Winter, and his services that he provides are complete quality, probably the highest standard, a bit more pricey than what you can find anywhere else, but the service you get in response to that is just perfect. John Winter advocate right
Also, what's happened this week, as a part-time officer, I get to sit on the Student Senate. This is the equivalent of Student Council, and is a forum where any student can submit any ideas that they want, which can then be passed through or otherwise as policy for the Students' Union. Policies that we had passed at Student Senate was that 50% for next year's Student Senate, 50% of student senator places should be dedicated to women.
That's interesting.
Yes, that was a heated debate, not so much in regards to gender equality, but in terms of providing equality for all other minority groups.
I think that's a very risky topic, because it gets on to positive discrimination, and then again that opens a tin of worms or a bag of worms, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, can you get positive discrimination? Is that the route that we want to be going down? But then, as a woman, I'm all for it, so that's good.
Yeah, so that was one of the policies passed. Also, a policy to not advertise or actively promote horse racing, greyhound racing, animal circuses, or pets as prizes. That was put forward by the president of the Animal Rights Society, and that was very significant and good to get involved with. We have also passed policy which then goes into the respective body about the student union being a living wage employer, so making sure that all the staff get paid at least £7.65 an hour, subject to the trustee board confirming that decision. And also there's been students who want to stop Saturday exams. That gets put to academic council.
That is interesting. I'm sure that a lot of students would want to get involved with that, because Saturday exams, I don't really think that that's the way to be going forward. I've never had one personally.
No.
If you have exams Monday to Friday, that 6-day area which you can have them is a lot.
Yes, but it's obviously dependent very much on courses, because healthcare courses and courses that require field trips are outside of the Monday to Friday period. So academic council will decide the fate on that. But as far as we're concerned, as a student representative body, it was passed through for the Vice President Education to take forward.
Brilliant. How can people get involved if they want to have their voice heard or vote?
Well, if you go on to the cardiffstudents.com website, under the purple tag of Your Voice, if you go down to Student Senate, you see all your student senators this year. Then you can submit with the submission link any policy that you want to be discussed at Student Senate. So that can range from anything really. I mean, if you want more refreshment facilities, or you think a certain area of the Students' Union could be improved, or you want more representation, just submit any ideas really.
Yeah, it's basically like the separate schools that have staff student panels. It's on a larger scale for the union, isn't it? It's really important that we have your voice heard and you get involved as much as possible. I mean, you're in uni for 3 to 4 years, maybe even 5 if you're pushing it, but you can make a difference. So that's key with this, and make sure you do get involved. And if you do have any ideas, no matter how small or big they may be, then make sure they get put forward.
And alternatively, you can approach any of the elected officers who will be happy to put forward a proposal on your behalf.
Yeah.
Also in the news this week is the proposal for high-speed train network. Now, this has caused much controversy, and on the news show this week, we wanted to get some student interaction.
We did. We wanted to go out and speak to the students about exactly what they felt about the high-speed train being introduced to the country. So let's go and have a look what they had to say.
So what do you think about having high-speed train in the UK?
I think it's a really good idea, especially down this area, and replace all the old ones, get rid of all the old junkers and replace them with the new high-speed ones.
I think it's really important in 20, 30 years' time. We need this sort of infrastructure as we're moving into the modern world. Everywhere else will have it, and then we need to be able to compete.
What do you think about the system now? How do you find the network?
Now I just don't like sometimes there are too many stops, and obviously it would be better if I can reach the destination faster.
I mean, it's not bad, it's not a terrible network, but obviously every time there is a chance to modernise something, you definitely sort of should. You shouldn't just leave it standing, because otherwise everyone else will move ahead.
Quite happy with how it works now. Pricing's more the thing for me, so if it caused pricing to go up, the new network, then wouldn't be so happy with it, I think.
High-speed train is a good thing, but you need to consider the social impacts of the high-speed train on the neighborhood. Because I come from Hong Kong, we also get the high-speed train system from China, and most of the local people in that villages are opposed to that high-speed train because they will destroy the neighborhood. So this is the main concern for the high-speed train. But on the other hand, high-speed train may be pulling away the capital from Cardiff to other cities. So this is another concern from myself.
So yes, that was the video there about high-speed trains. Obviously, there are major pros and cons. One of the major cons I can think of, sorry to be critical, but is increases in rail fares, which are expensive as it is.
They're extortionate already, so I dread to think what they may become in the future, because that's not something I'd look forward to. Another con.
I'll give you a pro in a minute.
Another con is the damage to the countryside and people's land. I mean, if this is implemented, I'm really passionate about just destroying the country and people's land. I mean, they've got no choice in the matter. It's going to affect not only their price houses. I know that they get offered a lot of money as compensation, but it really defeats the object, doesn't it? I think if you bought somewhere, if you bought land and you've bought a house and that's where you want to live and that's what you bought it for, then it's going to be destroyed.
However, there is a reason why they're introducing such a scheme. Obviously, our rail system compared to the rest of Europe is extremely outdated, and the actual demand for trains has gone through the roof, so that the majority of services are running to, well, over maximum capacity. So by having a new line and new trains along that line, and maybe we should introduce what the Germans do, having well, not just the Germans, but double-decker trains.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about that. I get a little bit anxious with stuff like that.
So make the tunnels higher,
Maybe.
taller.
I mean, yeah, as you said, overcapacity. I've been on far too many trains where I had to stand up for more than an hour, which I just think should be made illegal.
Yeah, and I've because I used to commute to college every day by train. The toilet was used as the new luggage rack, and I had to sit in the luggage rack as a seat.
Oh no, I was travelling back from London to Cardiff last week, and the toilet which I went to use, I pre-booked a seat, so it was fine. I was sitting very comfortably, but when I went to use the toilet, there was somebody sitting on the seat, and there was a rail in there for disabled access, and 2 people leaning on the rail. So they turned it into a little room of their own, a private carriage on the train. I know, I don't really appreciate how unhygienic that is, but I had to kindly ask them to leave for me.
But anyway, particularly in a tough economic climate, I think it's a limited
another
thing.
pro is, I don't know if there are many more pros. Obviously the speed, the amount of time that it takes to get from London to the north will be something like nearly halved.
Yeah, well, a reduction anyway. It's just a very controversial issue in this sort of economic climate where people don't want their money, say, being reduced from essential local services to fund a project that only affects a small amount of the country.
Yeah. And I mean, it doesn't solely impact on Cardiff, it impacts on places more north and London. So if you are from any of those areas,
and the Midlands as well.
Yes. If you are from any of those areas, or you just want to have a stay, then make sure you get in touch. You can use us on Facebook, search Cardiff Union TV, or tweet us at Cardiff Union TV, #CSM Live, and give us your thoughts, because that's what we want to know, and that's what we want to discuss.
Yeah. So next up, we look at music. Tomorrow, I believe the second music show of this academic year is being launched, because CUTV offer an alternate sports / music show, and this week it's music, and so do get involved if you want. Come to the contributors meetings, which are every Monday at 6 p.m. in CF10, if doing something in the music genre interests you.
Yes, indeed. Soon Festival was towards the end of September. October, I get this wrong every time. Towards the end of October, and we went along and we got loads and loads of footage. So currently we're all busy putting that together, but if you want to come along and see how to edit and use those skills and suite, then pop up to us on the 3rd floor. But now we're going to have a look at a little music video by Houdini Dax. Take a look at this.
Get up and go.
Hello, I don't know whether you can see me in the gloom. Basically, we're in the officers' bowl section, and there are automatic lights which switch off if there isn't any movement.
Oh, sorry, are we live?
We're live. So Jess just ran around trying to turn the lights on.
If you're regular CSM Live watchers, you will know that this is a reoccurring theme during each live broadcast, that all the lights within our lovely office decide to turn off. That is something that we should maybe take to the board.
To Student Senate.
Student Senate, yes. That was a great look at the band Houdini Dax. They're a local band around Cardiff. I think you can find them on Facebook. It's a pretty... unusual name, isn't it?
It is.
So check them out if you like that.
And within Houdini Dax is the head of publicity for Express Radio. Now, at the moment in London, we have the Radio Station Awards, Student Radio Awards.
Yes, indeed we do. And most of our exec team with Express and some people who have shows have just gone up, the lucky bunch.
With our controller and deputy controller, hence we're doing this show without them for the first time.
Oh, we miss you.
We miss you. But it's going so well, so we might just get rid of you. Anyway.
We've decided that we're going to have your jobs now that you've left.
So Express are up for many different nominations, as we will be with CUTV for NASTAs later on earlier in next year. So we wish them the best of luck in London.
Yes, we do.
Good luck, Express. We hope you win many awards.
We are thinking of you and we wish you were there, but we're sending all of our good luck vibes, as are all of our viewers.
Indeed they are. So yes, it's time really to end the show. We'd just like to say that if you could tweet in your Movember picks, remember there is a competition.
Remember that it is November.
And the Movember.
Remember to tweet us Movember.
We'll think of a prize.
Give me some credit for that really good rhyme.
Yeah, whatever. We'll think of a prize to give the best moustache and beard grower, which we'll give at the end of the month.
A shaving kit.
A shaving kit. Excellent prize. There you go,
That's
viewers.
That's what you can.
That's what you can win if you tweet in your best styled moustache and beard.
Yes, and we want to have a look at length as well, or patches.
Well,
we'll discuss it.
Yes.
Basically, just send us
any
anything.
facial hair.
Yeah, make sure it is facial hair. By the way,
no other hair.
No hairy chests. We do not want to be seeing that.
No, thank you. Also, tweet in pictures of fireworks and any activities that you got up to on Bonfire Night.
This is basically to feed the fact that we didn't really get to see many.
So we want to
fireworks.
see pictures.
We want to steal your pictures so we can have a sense of enjoyment.
So yes, that brings us to the end of today's CSM Live. We hope you enjoyed this programme.
We're sure you did enjoy this programme. Thank you very much for tuning in. As we said, if you want to get involved with student media, it is never too late. So make sure you come along to our meetings for CUTV, which is specially held on Mondays at 6 p.m. And thank you for watching. Have a lovely November and enjoy your week.
Bye-bye.